Hey guys, I'm Manuel Louis and welcome to my latest video. So today I'm going with something called The Good, The Bad and The Ugly, a review of sport in 2014. Now, it's just a list compiled of the good moments, the bad moments and the ugly moments of sport this year. And while I say sport, all of this list is football because, I mean, nothing's really happened in terms of other sports. I mean, I don't follow a lot of sports, but nothing's really happened. Like, we haven't had the full Olympics. I think we had the Winter Olympics either this year or last year, and people don't really, I mean, I didn't watch it, so it's not something that really interests me, but I just picked these moments because it's what I follow. So in the good section, for sport, we have the fact that there was 171 goals in this year's World Cup. Now that is mental if you think about it, because I mean, yeah, there's quite a lot of games, but to have 171 goals, I mean, some of them were absolutely amazing. Like, look at this one for example, that was just brilliant. Or what about this one? It was just sublime. Like, I don't even understand how some of these goals were scored, and to have that many goals in, you know, in a tournament, it's pretty mental. Pretty good to be honest. Shows the quality of football worldwide, I guess you could say. Well, the quality of attacking football, because obviously attacking football is more entertaining than defending, but yeah, some of the defensive performances weren't so good, but we'll just focus on the fact that there was a lot of goals this year. Another thing in the good was Sergio Aguero's hat-trick versus Bayern Munich in the Champions League a couple of months ago, and it was on a game where Man City weren't really playing that well, but Aguero just comes up with like moments of magic where he just pretty much every shot he had either challenged the goalkeeper or went in. Like, he didn't miss. In fact, I think he might have only had 3 shots and they all went in the goal. And to do that against the best keeper in the world, Manuel Neuer, it shows how much of a class finisher he actually is. And I think if he was less injury prone, he'd be like fully up for the Ballon d'Or every year. Like, I do think he's one of the best players in the world. Like, he's easily in the top 20 players in the world, probably even the top 15. But you know, he's still class. Even though that game, I don't think on the balance of play, I don't think Man City deserved to win that. But they have Aguero, just like Liverpool had Suarez last year. A lot of games Suarez got Liverpool out of jail when it was a game where they probably shouldn't have got much out of it. But credit to the individuals. And the final good that came from last year, well, this year still, best that came from 2014 was Liverpool's free-flowing attacking football. Now, depending on who you support, this could either be good or bad. Well, unless you support Liverpool, it's bad. But I guess it's good because it shows the quality of players that the Premier League can produce, and you know, the way Liverpool played in the second half of the season was absolutely blew a lot of teams away. I mean, you had a lot of teams that couldn't cope with it. You had Cardiff, Arsenal, Everton, Spurs. Those sort of teams were just absolutely wiped the floor with. Man United. Even when we played Man City, they came back from 2-0 down because our defence was pretty terrible. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but we did blitz them in the first, before they started coming back, we were all over them, and it's just the way we just pressed, and I really hope Liverpool can get back to that. I mean, I know they don't have Suarez anymore, and Sturridge is injury prone, so that's it's kind of shit, but at the same time, we have the players to do it. We still have Coutinho, Henderson, Sterling. We even have Lallana now, and it's just, we should be doing better than we are. So hopefully we can get back to that in the coming year. And now for the bad in terms of sport. The first thing we have is England's terrible World Cup performance. I mean, it was just abysmal. When they first played in the first game against Italy, and Raheem Sterling took that shot inside the first I don't know, it was the first 30 seconds, and literally everyone across the world thought that was in, and if that was in, I think England would have the confidence of Sterling would have been so confident that it would have brought the morale and the confidence up in the England team, and I think we would have got certainly out of the groups, but that didn't happen. England didn't really appear to try much. I mean, they did try against Uruguay, and Suarez kind of blew us away, but even in the last game when we had a chance of getting through, depending on other results, if we beat Chile, was it Chile? Oh, no, it wasn't Chile, I don't think. Whoever the other team was, it might have been Costa Rica. I can't remember if they even were in the World Cup, but whatever team it was, England just gave up. Like, it was the most boring game. It was just like ended 0-0. It was like, really? You've waited 4 years for this bollocks? Nah, England, nah. Another bad moment was Liverpool's title slips away. Yeah, the infamous Gerrard slip against Chelsea. Like, at the time, I could not speak about this. Like, I was just dead, and everyone was just taking the piss because I'm a Liverpool fan, and it happened. And we can all kind of joke about it now, but it did essentially end our hopes of winning the title for certainly the next couple of years, because we're a long way off where it was last season. I mean, we're not even in European places anymore at the moment in the table, and it's just dreadful. But that moment when Gerrard slipped, ball went straight to Demba Ba, he put the ball in the net against Chelsea. I mean, that game was just, I think we should have been smarter in that game. Like, we should have saw Chelsea defending and thought, you know what, they're just gonna park the bus, they're just gonna defend. Why don't we just pass the ball around and don't let them get the ball, don't commit too many people forward, and it would have just ended 0-0 and we would still be in control of the title, and we probably wouldn't have lost to Crystal Palace the next game, and we probably would have won the title, and they'd be calling us the champions, wouldn't they? But they're not, because, you know, and all that. And another bad moment of this year's sporting exploits was Man United getting wrecked by MK Dons. Now, this just like summed up how low on confidence Man United actually were from the David Moyes era, which basically wasn't really an era. It kind of lasted like 9 months or something. It was absolutely ridiculous, but they were so low on confidence that, I mean, when Van Gaal took over, they were just dead, and to get beat 4-0 by a team that's, I think they were 2 divisions lower, is just ridiculous. Like, maybe losing to them, yeah, because anything can happen in football, but to lose 4-0, that was absolutely ridiculous for them. But it was basically just because they were low on confidence, not because they don't have the ability. Obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I dislike Man U, but speaking as from a neutral point of view, they were just low on confidence. They've still got pretty much the same players they had now. I mean, obviously they got Falcao and Di Maria, but Di Maria was, I'm pretty sure he was already there I'm pretty sure he was injured when they played MK Dons. So he was actually there, and, you know, it's just, they were just bad on confidence, but then look at them, they're doing pretty well now. I don't think they'll win the league like their manager says, but they'll probably get top 6. Probably. It's looking that way. I don't think they'll finish lower than that, so they'll definitely be in Europe next year. So now we have the ugly proportion of this thing, which is basically things that were worse than bad, like things that couldn't have gone any worse. And if you're wondering why I'm standing close to the camera, it's because I noticed that the sun from my window is like shining on my face, so it's kind of, I don't know, it's a bit annoying, so I'll just move closer so that it's not interfering with anything. But the first ugly, I guess, moment was Luis Suarez biting Chiellini in the World Cup. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, I've started reading his book, which conveniently is right here. There you go, Luis Suarez crossing the line, blah. And he kind of says why he did it. Well, he says that obviously what he did was wrong and there's nothing he can do to make up for it, and you can't excuse it, you know what I mean? But he says that just before he beat Chiellini, he had a shot on goal and Buffon saved it, like the Italian goalkeeper, it didn't go in. So Suarez was like thinking, oh god, I've missed a chance, even though there's like half an hour left of the game or whatever there was. If he had the fear that his team was going to go out and it'd be all his fault, and he kind of just felt the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he just couldn't handle it, and he just lashed out on Chiellini. And I mean, I wish he'd just have punched him or something like that, because then it's not going to be as bad. It would only be a couple of match bans, maybe obviously banned from the rest of the tournament. But to turn around and bite, I don't understand why specifically the bite. Like, why is it a bite? Why is it not a punch? Like when someone gets angry at someone, you want to punch them. You don't want to like nibble on their arm. Like, what even is that? I mean, I still do like Suarez as a player. He's just not the greatest person, but I do understand that he's trying to get help, and hopefully he doesn't do it again and he does well at Barcelona. Another ugly moment was Alan Pardew's notorious headbutt on, I think it was a Hull City player, and he was basically had to pay a fine, and he was banned from being on the touchline for a couple of games, and it was just ridiculous. Like, you'd expect a player to headbutt someone, but for a manager to headbutt someone, it's something else entirely. It was just ridiculous. I found it quite funny, to be honest, but obviously if you're a Newcastle fan you probably didn't. I don't know, you might do, you might not. Like, Liverpool fans can sort of laugh at the Gerrard slip now. It's kind of just like, yeah, we're sort of over it. Like, deep down we're probably never going to get over it, but we can kind of laugh and joke around about it a bit more now. And the last ugly moment is, well, if you're Germany it's not an ugly moment, if you're Brazil it is a very ugly moment, and I'm talking about this scoreline. Yeah, Brazil 1, Germany 7. 7-1 in their home country. I mean, what is going on with that? I mean, Brazil, basically what happened in the game is Germany scored 1 goal, and then Brazil's defence just fucked off. Like, David Luiz was just like, fuck this, I'm done, mate, I'm going home. And it literally pretty much left in spirit, and they just got hammered by Germany. They managed to get a goal back, but at the end of the day they got absolutely battered, and the Brazil fans were just so shocked and like so upset. Like, if I was them, I don't even know. I don't know how you could be any more like depressed. Like, I suppose if England lost 7-1, I wouldn't be that bothered, because I prefer club than country, but obviously in Brazil their national team is like so important to them, and to lose by that margin, I mean, that's just ridiculous. Like, I hope the players paid some sort of, I mean, they should have provided Brazil fans with like a refund, because it's just ridiculous. Like, I know the Sunderland players paid back their fans when they lost, I can't remember, was it 8 or 9-0 or something to Southampton this year? But yeah, that's another crazy moment. But I went for Brazil and Germany just because of how much of a shock it was. It was in the World Cup semi-final as well. Anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Sorry it's slightly longer than you used to. I normally try and keep them under 10 minutes, but I needed to explain some of these things and why I put them in there. It's been a great year for sport. Let me know down in the comments what you think has been the best events in sport and the best moments. It doesn't necessarily have to be football. If you know any from other sports that you may follow, let me know. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you enjoy my content. I'll see you next time guys.